Welcome to Andy D. Cole's podcast. Please like, share and subscribe.
Welcome to Andy D. Cole's podcast. Press like and subscribe.
Welcome to Andy Decodes. Sit back and enjoy as we dive deeper down into the rabbit hole and into the unknown.
Hello again, welcome back. This is part 2. Part 1 we did last night with my guest Derek Savory. Welcome back to the show. It does feel like I've not moved for 24 hours, but I know I have. The exact same position.
Well, it's good to be here. I'll tell you, it's good to be back on again.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming back on at very, very short notice. Just to let everyone know in the chat, the first hour to hour and 40 minutes, we've got going to carry on part 2 with Derek, and then the last part of the show, I'm going to talk about my encounter, which happened in Kings Lynn, near where Derek lives. In it, well, he's part of the country anyway, so he might be able to shed some light onto what I'm going to talk about. But for now, we're going to concentrate on Derek. So, where should we start from? Because we ended yesterday with you answering questions.
Well, I've got a few things. I'll talk about another UFO experience I had here in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a few years ago, when the chemtrail business was all over the internet, when everyone's gone about chemtrails, and I started looking at it, and I'm thinking, seeing the planes spraying stuff, I'm thinking, this is real. This is real. This isn't contrails. This is chemtrails. You know.
Yeah.
And being in my age, I can remember what it was like when there was hardly many planes in here, let alone chemtrails. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's kind of a bit like when you speak to universe. Yeah. When you start panicking a bit and thinking what they spraying us with, and then I was speaking to various people on the internet about it, and I was sort of like a lot of people getting wound up over these chemtrails. It's like our government wasn't seeing what was going on. Yeah. Anyway, one particular night, it's about midnight time. I just got in the house. I've been out, got in the house, took the dog out, and come back midnight. I just thought, well, I might have a cup of coffee, and then just I thought that the house went freezing cold. My little place, freezing cold, and I felt a presence in my house. I'm thinking, oh my god, there's something in here. So I ended up, I thought, well, I'm going outside. I made a coffee. I thought, I'm not hanging around in here. And I went in my garden. There's 2 entrances to my garden. I thought, if something comes from that way, I'll leg it that way, or vice versa. Well, this is like midnight. I've got out in the garden. Right? So I sat in the garden with my cup of coffee, thinking, I don't know what we're dealing with here. I knew I could feel something in the house, but I wasn't sure what was going on. So, come about 2:30 in the morning. I'm freezing cold. While I'm sitting outside, once again, yet again, an owl turned up, which you don't see many owls around where I live. And this owl turned up and started hooting a lot. So I thought, oh, not again. Me and owls, I've got this thing with owls turn up. They'll try to give you a message. Yeah. It's very true what you see in them Harry Potter films about owls with messages, right? It's spot on. So anyway, I'm sitting there listening to this owl hooting away, thinking, I wish I could understand what this owl's doing. Anyway, it comes at 2:30, 3 o'clock. I am freezing cold in the garden. Thought, oh, well, I'm tired, I'm cold, I've had enough, I'm going in. If there's something in there waiting for me, I'll just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I come back in my house and there's nothing. The temperature rose, whatever was there had gone. Oh, that's all right. So I went to bed. I got up at 8 o'clock in the morning, drew me curtains, and a little voice said, "Look up." And there was a disc above my house, right?
Oh,
A silver UFO above my house. And obviously that's what the clue was the night before, basically, I suppose. So
yeah,
I looked up and I thought, I can't believe it's a UFO above my house. And directly in front of me, when I look out my front room window, I can see the where the planes fly, yeah, the flight
yeah,
path.
yeah,
And this UFO, there's a plane flying in front of me, literally, with a chemtrail coming out the back. And this UFO took off, and in a second, it was next to the flying level with the plane. And the chemtrail stopped coming out the back of the plane. The plane kept flying,
yeah,
but the chemtrail actually stopped. And I watched this thinking, bloody hell, what? And what Spirit told me was that basically whoever, say, runs this planet or whatever runs this planet, how should everyone put it, they will
yeah,
show me who's in charge. And if they want to stop a chemtrail or if they want to stop an atomic bomb, they can.
yeah,
And it was a sign for me to see that there's something in charge, and whoever's in charge can make it happen or stop it. And for years, I couldn't get over the fact I seen this UFO. And then that day in the afternoon, I put it on. I put it onto a few sites on Facebook that I'd seen this UFO.
yeah,
Anyway, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. I see it. Well, in the afternoon, I was going down to Clacton to see a friend of mine, and I told him about this UFO, and he's not into none of this stuff whatsoever. He said, "Derek, you have frigging UFOs." He said, "Let's just Google it, shall we?" So he's Googled it. Right? 3 people in London had filmed UFOs that morning. In
right,
London, there was 3 UFOs seen at 7:30 in the morning and filmed on my head, and
yeah,
they went off 3 different directions. I see the one over here at 8 o'clock in the morning.
right,
I thought, my mate was just gobsmacked. He's not into UFOs at all. He said, "Blimey, come on here, look." And this is like that day that people put on there on the film footage.
yeah,
Well, a few years, few years after that, I was doing a talk in a small talk around someone's house to a group of people.
yeah,
One of the women, she said, "Oh, I see that." She used to live in the next road to me. I didn't know it then, but she lived in the next road to me, and she see that UFO that day, that morning. But
right,
it was like, obviously, I presume certain people were supposed to see it for whatever reason. In my case, I see it as a sign that something's in control of this planet, and i.e., in this case, the chemtrails. And I suppose because my consciousness was worried about these chemtrails,
yeah,
that's why the UFO appeared the night before. Obviously, there's a being in my house that was going to try and communicate with me, but I got frightened and buggered off, which is nothing new. Right. But that all the things tie in together. And I'll give you another example of something. I was in the Venetian Forest one night, and I was with Brenda, Bev, and another lady, Jean, and we had an encounter. Same place as my other encounters. A certain area in Venetian Forest we have a lot of encounters. The same
yeah,
sort of area. It's not a portal area. Anyway, these orbs started flying in towards us, and I
yeah.
got a picture of these orbs. And just as I took the picture, the orbs changed. It looked like, what of a better word, angels flying in.
Oh,
I've got this picture, and you've got to see it. There's a lot in it.
yeah,
And Brenda was taking pictures as well. But you got the picture of these things flying in. They're orbs. They were actually orbs, but there's beings inside the orbs.
yeah,
Anyway, I took a picture. Brenda took a picture of me, and also got a similar picture.
yeah.
When Brenda showed me her picture, and that's when I got a bit frightened. There was a giant mantis thing standing behind me, standing right over the top of him, looking down over the top of me,
Oh, yeah,
and that scared the heck out of me. And bear in mind, the week before that, we'd had another group there was taken round, and when they took some pictures, there was 2 giant beings, and we measured them to 11 foot tall, roughly. Because
oh,
my mate was 6'4", who was there, and I'm 5 foot, not a lot. And we was able to work out the size of these beings.
yeah,
But the same thing happened again. The same thing happened again with that. they can wipe the pictures off your phone. So you might have the pictures there for a little while to see them, then they get wiped off your phone. But from this particular light in the forest, when these orb things come flying in, I took a picture, and I've still got the picture. And I've used it on my computer. When I do talks, I always put this picture up. But there's something interesting in this picture that I didn't realise what was in there. But I think a lot of listeners want to listen to what I'm going to say here, because I think this happens a lot more than what people realise.
Right.
In the picture, there was what looked like a grizzly bear in the picture, which, it wasn't a solid thing. It looked like a ghost of a bear, basically.
Yeah.
Anyway, as it turned out, a couple of years after that, I met my Penny, who came around my house here to give me a reading. She was giving readings to a group of people. I got around on a false pretense to want to ask her out, but I got a house full of people so she could give readings to cover up the fact I was going to ask her out.
Yeah.
Anyway, she started giving me a reading first, and everything she said was unbelievable, spot on. And then she said, "You've got an animal guide that's a bear, like a grizzly bear."
Right.
I'm thinking, I wasn't about that, because I was not into mediumship at this point, so I better just point that out. And anyway, so when she give all the readings to everybody, I showed her what I'd got on my computer, what I did at the forest. And the first picture I put up, there's the grizzly bear. The bear is in the picture.
Oh.
That bear that has appeared in a few of my pictures, normally when I get frightened, to be honest, is there for strength. It's an animal guide that protects you, and it comes through for strength.
Yeah.
Now, having spoke to one or two people over the course of a few years and my own experiences, I've realised that if you're in a position where you've got ETs or UFOs, very often your guides come through, whether it be your animal guides or ordinary guides.
Yeah.
I've got a picture of my animal guide. I've got it. I've had it authenticated. Jason Gleaves has looked at it. I've also sent the copy up to a lady in Australia, whose name I can't remember again for a minute, who specialises in orbs. And she brought a lot more out of the picture. But the point I'm trying to make is, very often with these UFO encounters, and of any description, whether it be abductions, whether it be whatever, very often your guides are there with you. And anyone knows about mediumship will tell you, well, your guides you've got one guide at least that's with you all through your life. Plus other guides obviously turn up. But what I mean is, these things are with you. Whatever way you look at it, these guides are supporting you.
Yeah. Have you ever tried to communicate with these spirit guides?
Yes, I'm pretty lousy at it. I'll be quite honest with you. I am pretty lousy at it. I mean, I should, for the amount of time I've spent doing, I sit in circle every week. I should be able to do it. But I can't understand it really. Sometimes I can, another time I can't.
Yeah.
I mean,
how do you try and do that? What's your technique?
Well, what you're supposed to do, when you open up, you've got chakras in your body. You know about your chakras, like you've got your red one at the bottom, and they go up different colours for different. Yeah. Well, normally when you what you call open up, you do a meditation, and you have to open up, and you open up your chakras. There's several ways to do it. You've got to visualize, say, your root chakra, which is a red one. Yeah. You visualize it as, say, a flower, and you visualize it as a flower opening. So that's one open. Yeah. Then you move up to your next one, your yellow one. That opens up. Then you move up to your orange one, which is here somewhere. That one you've got to be careful of, because you can get bad energies go into that one. That's where bad energies come into if you're not careful.
Yeah.
And you open up all your chakras. You go all the way up. Your green, your blue, your indigo, and all the way up, And then you're ready to work, so spirit can get through. At the same time, you ground yourself. But what happens there is you have to visualize your feet on the ground. You have to visualize roots coming out your feet and go right deep into the earth and spreading out. And so you're grounded. That grounds you.
Right.
Then you move up to the white light. You see, you have to raise your consciousness up to another level.
Right. Okay.
And spirit comes down to meet you. You're in no man's land. Yeah.
Yeah.
So your higher self meets up with the high energies coming in, or the spirit coming in, and you normally would say prayers, or the leading medium would say the prayer or prayers, and you gradually open yourself up. And then you have to join up with a big white light. You visualize a white light coming down to meet you and coming right through you and every cell in your body. It's a bit like all your DNA, yeah?
Yeah.
All over your body, you've got DNA and blood cells and different cells. You have to fill them all with white light, every part of your body.
Yeah.
And then as you open your chakras up, you've got to imagine the different colours surrounding you, and the white, all the different colours like a rainbow all surrounding you. And then you have to push outwards, push all out. So you instead of being spread out around you tightly, you push them out so you can spread out and push all the energies out all around you. So you're surrounded by energies.
Yeah.
Right. And that's basically how you open up for one. That's a quick way.
Yeah. Cool.
It does take quite a while. I mean, there's loads of different ways of doing it.
Yeah.
I find it hard with the meditation bit. My concentration's not what it should be.
Yeah. Right. Have you ever tried it with a pendulum and a chart?
Yeah, I've got pendulums. Yeah.
Have you ever tried it that way? Because I find that's the easiest way for me to do it.
I haven't tried opening up with a pendulum, no. But normally, when I've done this, I'm sitting in circles, so I'm not the lead medium. I'm just one of a group.
Yeah.
I have done it different ways with music. Music I can do it with a lot easier. But even that, sometimes you can go the wrong way.
Right. Okay.
Music. I put the music on and I floated off. I literally, instead of meditating,
up and gone.
Yeah. The trouble with me is, I suppose perhaps I'm getting older now. When I shut my eyes to meditate, a short period of time, I'm all right. But there's a fine line between falling asleep and snoring in front of a load of people and meditating. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do find it very hard. It's probably my age, I don't know. But I've always found that hard.
Yeah, a lot of people I've spoke to struggle with getting to that point where you get into like the full zone of the meditation.
Yeah.
And not enough.
It's hard. I mean,
I've done it myself.
The thing is, when you look at like the mediums, like my Penny, for example, he doesn't go through this when she goes up on stage. And a lot of mediums, they sit down quietly for a few minutes, and then bang on, they're up on stage doing it, platform, boof, no messing about.
Yeah,
and that's how I'd presume I'd be able to, or should be able to do, because normally sometimes, like when you sit in circle, the lead medium say, right, I want you to get all the thoughts out of your head and put them in a bin beside you, and you've got to think. Well, with me, I'll get to stage, I think I'm trying to think of thoughts to put in the bin because my mind's clear when I sit down. And it gets confusing. You know, it's not as easy. I mean, I've been doing this on and off for years. You know, I mean, especially the last few years I've been doing it. But sometimes I can lock in. Right. I mean, there's something I've shared with it, but I've never shared this with anybody. Ooh. So this is the first for you new listeners. Right? Now, this is quite a big thing. When COVID was on, 2021, when we had the shutdown, I'd got my Penny, a hexagon shed for to put in a garden, and the idea was she was going to do readings in it in the summer. I mean, the truth is, it's just turned to a shed now. But the bottom line is, when I got it, hexagon ape shed, second hand, and I had to put it all together. So I was sort of building it, putting it all together, painting it, all the sort of different jobs over the shutdown. Well, Penny went out this particular day during the shutdown. All of us sneaked out, get shopping here and there, whatever. Well, anyway, I was doing the shed, and I forgot myself. Right now, you know, in mediumship, you have what they call a cabinet. Yeah, you know, some mediums sit in a cabinet. Have you ever heard? Yeah. Alex used a cabinet sometimes. Yeah, just example. Well, basically, cabinet. All the energies come into the cabinet, all the orbs come into the cabinet, and all spirit comes in the cabinet, and it gets you more concentrated inside. And apparently you can control things better, and use it for trance a lot. Yeah, we go into trance. Anyway, this little shed that I'm building, Penny, this particular day, I was on a little bit of dream world. Opened the door a bit, and of course, forgetting myself, it worked as a cabinet, and
Ah,
I was kind of, well, basically, I got a message. I asked a question in the universe. It's one of the few times I've actually managed to go like that, locked in, right?
yeah,
So I'm inside this cabinet, asked a question, and asked about the planet and the COVID. That's what it was about, basically, because none
yeah,
of us had experienced COVID before. And
yeah,
I asked the question: was it an off-world thing, that happened? And listen to this, right? It's going to sound crazy, but bear with me. I've
yeah.
got the answer, right? So I'm inside, and I heard, like I'm talking to you, a young lad talking to a man. And I'm hearing this, like
Yeah,
they were sitting next to me, like I was there.
yeah,
It's an off-world thing that was going on. Yeah, a young lad had gone to a store, either on board a ship or on another planet. I'm not sure where, with a
right.
list of stuff, supplies. So he's gone up to the storeman, give the storeman the list, and the storeman says, "Oh, we haven't got a lot of this." He said, "Oh, because there's a virus on Earth, so we can't get all as much stuff as normal."
Yeah,
Right. So the young lad says, "But we grow our own stuff here. What's the problem?" He said, "Well, no, but we grow some stuff on here, but we
yeah,
can't grow all to supply us." So obviously, these beings are getting s- stuff from us, from Earth, food from here.
right. Okay, yeah,
So the storeman, and then the storeman starts talking to the lad. So the lad says to the storeman, "Well, I'm from Earth. We're from Earth. Why can't we? Why can't we just ask for more? Them to send more supplies up?"
yeah.
And then the storeman says, and this is right. This is right. The overlords are in charge. Those on Earth don't know about us. So the young lad said, "Well, I'm from Earth." So the storeman said, "No, you was born here."
Right.
The storeman said, "I'm older. I am from Earth." He said, "You're not. You was born here." He said, "But the fact of the matter is," he said, "if those on Earth knew that we're living with the overlords, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously it's off planet," he said, "they would turn their weapons on us." He said, "Their
Ah,
technology at this moment in time, we're talking now, this is happening
yeah.
now. Their technology on Earth is at a level now," he said, "on Earth, they're a threat to us and anybody else. The technology, they can take us on." So
Ah,
the young lad and he were discussing this, obviously off Earth. So young lad said,
yeah.
"Well, why don't they know about us?" So the someone said, "Look, on Earth, all the weapons are pointed at each other. They point the weapons at themselves. He said,
Yeah.
very, very violent on Earth." He said, and honestly, he said, they would turn on us. He said, but their technology is there. They can take us on. Not so much the Earth, those living there, but the overlords. So young lad said,
Ah,
"Is that why the overlords are flying backwards and forth, leaving Earth, like in droves, and here for
yeah.
that matter?" He said, "The overlords are in panic." He said, what's happened is apparently there's a Galactic Federation, yeah, and there's a
Yeah.
couple more races have joined the Galactic Federation, which
Yeah.
are, for want of a better word, in favour of us. But they don't like the way the overlords are running this planet.
Right.
So basically, the what the storeman said, he said, if the overlords have put that virus on Earth, give it to us on here on Earth, that's like an act of war. Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so and the Galactic Federation will have to do something about it. And the overlords are panicking like it's nothing to do with them, but they could get the blame for it. And he also mentioned about false flags. And on Earth, they do a lot of false flags, which we know about, obviously,
Yeah.
in our own. Well, you can, which we're expecting to happen anyway from with UFOs landing, aren't we? That's what we're being
Yeah.
told.
Yeah.
Well, so the overlords will be overlords that run this planet. Yeah, the I don't know where, if they live in an aircraft, or if it's on the moon, on the Mars. I've no idea, but
Right.
would appear that they get a lot of supplies from this planet. Yeah,
Yeah.
and obviously they grow their own stuff wherever they are, but not enough to feed them all. So a lot of the bulk of supplies come from here. Now, if you think about some of the UFO sightings that are seen and where they're seen, you
Yeah.
think, hang on a minute, somehow, someone somewhere is dealing with these overlords. These overlords are getting food and supplies from this planet somehow and from somewhere.
Yeah.
So presumably, but there are overlords, or those that walk amongst us on this planet.
Yeah.
Quite how they work, I have no idea. But obviously, they're supplying the overlords that live
Yeah.
above the planet. But
Ah.
when I listen to this, I'm thinking, and this one on all day. Now, I don't know how it happened that this come about. I forgot
Yeah.
myself that I was basically in a cabinet and it amplified my thoughts. And I was
Yeah.
able to connect there and then. Now I've got all this written down. I wrote the whole thing down on
Yeah.
sheets of paper. But in a nutshell, we've got overlords running this planet. They called them overlords. They didn't say they're reptilians. They didn't say what race they were. They just called them overlords.
Ah, right.
But they've got Earth people from this planet living with them.
Yeah.
So I don't know quite where that is, but my
Yeah.
guess is that things could explode any time. You
Right.
just don't know the truth, do you? That's the trouble.
No,
But-
I don't think we ever will, though, will we?
Well, who knows what's going to happen with all what's going on at the moment.
No,
But-
no.
Is there any questions in there yet before I go?
Yes, we have one question, and this is from Sober Carper, and he's put, "Hi Derek, do you have anywhere we could see your pictures with descriptions, etc.?"
I've got the pictures. If you want to send me a Facebook request, then
Yeah.
yes, the pictures are on my site, and I'm willing to share any of them with anybody.
Oh, thank
And-
you.
And I can add where and what they were, and when they were taken within reason
Yeah.
to anybody, basically. But yes,
All
I've got some interesting pictures actually.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you for that.
No
Well,
problems.
Yeah, just going back to what you were saying about when you was doing the shed and it, like become a cabinet with
Yeah.
what you was listening to. Is it? I'm trying to not diss what you're saying, but
No, that's
is it,
fine.
is it? Do you believe that everything that you hear or you visualize is 100% legit, or do you think some of it could be a miscommunication? Should we say?
Well, it's possible miscommunication. Anything's possible. But
Yeah.
no, I think when I have, say, locked in or I have done it, I've been spot on and it's been instant.
Yeah.
When I've got information, whether it be a reading or whatever, it's instant.
Right.
It's not, I don't see any room for mistakes.
No.
I've done, give an example, I've done EVP recordings live on radio on Bob Brown's show.
Oh,
No,
yeah. Yes. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Bob.
And we've done it live. And there's two mediums here with me, three of us here. And we went on to Bob Brown's show and we just had a speaker. And spirit speaks through the speaker, right?
Yeah.
And we actually done it live. And we done it on Bob Brown's show. And just before his show finished, the next host rung through to Bob and said, can we carry on doing it on their show? And people, Bob was getting people messaging in, asking questions, and we was listening to the answers on the speaker and giving them the answers. Spirit speaks through the speaker.
Yeah.
But what happens is, in this case, what happens is the longer you're doing this live, and normally you would do it with playback, you record it, then play it back to make sure there's no mistakes with the answers.
Yes.
But the longer you do EVP for in one session, more and more spirits join in.
Right.
So what happens is when we was doing this, started off all right, just a few spirits coming through, answering questions, but then it gets out of hand. Then you get all these different spirits shouting out our names, trying to get their attention, and it is a bit the whole load of it. It's like they get excited because they know they can get through to you.
Yeah.
And by the second show, it all got out of hand. It was like imagine a hall full of people all shouting at you, right? And you're trying to listen. You're trying to answer somebody's question, whether it be whatever it may be. So you have to listen carefully to the obviously first the question and then the answer. Well, you imagine a load of people all shouting at the same time. You've got to pick out which one's the answer, and it got really hard. There's three of us there trying to listen in to get the answer right, because you don't want to make a mistake, no matter what is ill. Like I say, and when you're doing it live, it is really, really hard. If you record it, it's all right, because you got to play back and you can play it back a few times and listen carefully. But come the second show, or after Bob Brown's show, we thought, bloody, we'll never do that again. We did get the right answers, but it's like a load of kids in the room all getting excited and shouting at you. They all trying to get in on the act, you know. It is good fun.
Yeah.
I've also done it in Rendlesham Forest with EVP. We had a guy called Joe Game come in with his team. Yeah. And that's the first time we're here this time. Well, I just told you actually, but it was the first time I'd met Joe Game, and he showed us how to do this EVP properly. And the major thing with this was he got an SP7, like a little radio thing, SP7.
Yeah.
He had that, and he had a Bluetooth type speaker. What wasn't Bluetooth, but as a speaker to go with it. And we sat down in Rendlesham Forest, and he started things off and asked if there was any spirits that would come forward and speak. And the boys said yes. And he said, "Can you tell me how many spirits are here?" And they said, say 4. He said, "Are there any star people here?" They like to be called star people, some of these ETs,
Yeah.
So, and then he said, yes, 5. So there's more star people than there was spirits there.
Oh.
But then the shocker come. There's 4 of us sitting around a bench. And so Joe said, "Right, do you know, can you say who's sitting opposite me?" And the voice said, "Yes, Brenda Butler." So I'm thinking, bloody hell, this is something else. And then Joe says to the spirit, "Who's next to Brenda?" He said, "Derek Savory." Ron nearly fell off the bench. I think, what the? Anyway, if these were the test questions, right?
Yeah.
And then the guy had an American voice, and then we realised who it was. It was our friend who used to serve in Ben Waters. His name was Kevin Darkstorm.
Oh,
I mentioned him yesterday.
Him last night. Yeah.
Yeah, and he came through, and he told us loads of stuff, absolutely loads of stuff. He's come through to just about every medium I've sat in front. Yeah. He's a very, very. He's more years in front of any of us back when he served here. And when I spoke to him, he knew so much about ETs and stuff. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I've got all his information on my computer.
Yeah.
In fact, Brenda Butler came around here once, right, and was going to do a communication with him.
Yeah.
And hang on, my dog's. Let me just shut this door. The dog's kicking off again. He's got his invisible. That is him who's he's playing with.
The invisible friend.
Yeah, he has. Oh. Well, yeah, sorry about that.
No, you're right.
The trouble when you do this thing, you don't feel the same in your studio. I have beings and all sorts wander through the house. And when you've got to pick around here and something wanders, just if a ghost walks past them, then you pass out. The hair's got the back of the neck and all sorts. Anyway.
No, I've not had anything that extreme yet.
Well, it's probably because of what I do. You know, it's probably because obviously I've got medium stuff in here.
Yeah. So, sorry, go on. That's right.
Brenda came around my house one day and was going to communicate with this Kevin Darkstorm. Yeah. Got a laptop sat on the table, and I've got all his information there, and he wanted to share some information with us that was on my computer. Anyway, I was just about to start. I said, "Brenda, I'll just nip to the loo." So she's sitting at the computer. I charged through to the loo, quick wee.
Yeah.
And put the line in the toilet. And next thing, the light starts going, beep, 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 and these orbs started firing around in the toilet, right? I said, "Brenda, it's kicking off in here. It's all come out." I said, "I can't come out with a wee and I. You can't stop halfway through, can you?"
No.
And honestly, ended up, just I opened the door, the light exploded, right?
Yeah.
And the kitchen light exploded. That's a fresh light on the kitchen. Took that out. The light in the kitchen and the toilet light took out. And these orbs were firing around in this front room where I'm sitting. And Brenda said, well, my crikeys, he's got coming some, that's Kevin coming through, the power he comes through with. Then he took over the computer and kept scrolling up to certain passages that I'd got on the computer that he'd given me from years ago.
Ah, okay.
There was something he wanted us to see, but even with Brenda's abilities, we couldn't work out exactly what he was trying to tell us.
Right.
So we still don't know exactly what it is. I've still got the information there. But there's some certain bits, and I know it's roughly near East Gate. We found the spot that he'd had an encounter with ETs near East Gate. There's a big hole there. I don't know if you know about the big hole, but it's there.
Oh, I think Alex mentioned it.
Yeah, Alex has been there.
Yeah.
My sister knows it. The only reason we found a big hole, right? It's on a deer track there, near it there. And my boy was racing through there trying to catch some pictures of the deer.
Yeah.
Chasing the deer. I was chasing him and I fell down a frigging hole. Well, this is bloody this hole. It was about, at one stage, it's probably about 10 foot by, 10 foot deep, perhaps at one stage. And I fell in it all the time.
Jesus.
Talk about things happening strange times. And that's how I found the hole. I fell in it.
Oh, so I'm guessing the hole's got bigger since.
Yeah. Well, no, over the years, it's got smaller now because you got all the leaves of the trees and things.
Oh, so it's all like filling it up a bit.
Yeah, that's filled up with leaves and rubbish and all sorts. But yeah.
Oh.
And we checked out the forestry where this hole was, and we know when the trees were planted, as long as if a big tree had fell over and left a hole, it wasn't there. It was, I say, man-made, UFO made, shall I say?
Yeah. Ah. So, do you have anything going on like the way Alex does with the face changing when you're doing the mediumship, or like
trance,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember what you call it.
It's called trance. Yeah,
that's it.
Sometimes I have a red light on and you change. Yeah, that's called trance. I personally don't do it, but a few months ago I went up to Yorkshire near where Paul St Clair lives.
Yes,
I went up to Scarve, in actual fact, where we went.
Yeah, and it was a week after I met you. A couple of days after I met you. You was going up there.
That's right. Well, we went up there and I was getting some trance healing done. This guy who's up there does trance healing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, this is the second time I've been to him. I've known him and his wife for a lot of years. And they're, as healers go or mediums go, they are two of the best you're ever going to meet. They really are. Right. Well, I went to his, we stayed at his house.
Yeah.
And I sat on the bed. And like I say, his wife's a medium. My Penny's a medium. Yeah. And he's a trance healer. And I'm not really sure what I am. But anyway, I'm sitting on the bed. And last time I went there, he moved a nerve in my back. I had a trapped nerve in my back. Now, what he'd done for intents and purposes is impossible. But he looked at me back and said, well, you've got a nerve trapped. I'm going to move it.
Right.
Now, it felt like his fingers actually passed inside me.
Ooh.
Well, that's what it feels like, right?
Yeah.
And his wife was saying, what they do, that in spirit, is the guy changes into this American doctor, yeah?
Right.
And the doctor's called Dr. John. That's the doctor, and he's American. Yeah. And this guy changes into Dr. John through spirit in trance. And he doesn't need no red lights to do it. He does this for real. And he moved a nerve in my back. Now, last time he done this to me, I said, can I ask some questions? And he answers back with an American voice, and yes, Derek, you can. I said, when you was on the earth plane, was you like a doctor or a surgeon? What was you? He said, no, Derek, I was a pilot and I crashed my plane in 1943. I'm thinking, oh, brilliant. I thought, I said, well, what makes you doing this now? He said, in spirit now, we have an academy. And at the academy, you can learn to help people on this planet, like in this case, as a doctor. He said, we train for it. I said, really? He said, yes. He said, and I was doing nothing. I've been, what are they doing in spirit world, basically? He says, so I thought I'd do something that could help this planet. And that's why I do this healing. But when the guy changes, he changes, his whole face changes. his
Yeah.
voice changes and he talks an American accent. Now, I've known
Yeah.
this guy, he's a friend of mine, I've known him for years, absolutely years. Never did I believe that he was going to do this. Do you know what I mean? I was absolutely gobsmacked. But
Yeah.
honestly, when he moved a nerve in back, now, you know yourself, but it's an impossible thing to do. You've got a trapped
Yeah.
nerve, it's trapped, either frees itself or over
Yeah.
time or
Or
whatever.
it doesn't, or it gets worse. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just sit there and somebody put their fingers and try to move it. But what he did, he actually moved it. He actually put his hands inside me and moved it.
Yeah.
And the last time I went, when I see you, that's what I was
Yeah.
going to again.
Yeah.
My Penny had a not a busted jaw, but she'd been at the dentist and her jaw was out of shape.
Right.
And we was going up there to see him anyway. I was going to get some more healing done on my back. And she got her jaw straightened out. And honestly, she laid on the bed and Dr. John come through and squared her jaw up. Just like that.
Really.
And some of these healers are unbelievable. And
So-
that's what they do. But they're good friends of ours.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when I first met them, I was doing a talk in Yorkshire.
Yes.
And that's when I first met them. We went on one of these what they call a week away. We're all mediums there, and it's a training week, and you all share something that you can do. And I was going to be doing UFOs, but yeah, brilliant week. That's when I first met them. And then they invited me to do a talk where they lived down in Folkestone. That's where they used to live.
Yeah.
And me and Penny went down to Folkestone, and this is you've got to hear this to believe this. They always we thought make a holiday of it, make a week of it in Folkestone. I've got one night to do a charity talk on UFOs.
Yeah.
And that was within a week. They said, "Well, do you want to sit in circle with us?" So I thought, yeah, why not? We do it every week anyway. So what's not just another group, just different people. What I didn't realise is a physical trance circle done in the dark. Now I've sat in them before, right, but not to this level.
Right.
Have you ever seen the skull experiment or heard of the skull experiment on paranormal things?
I might have done. I just don't recognise terminology.
Well, the skull is a place here in Suffolk. It's a village, and there's a group of mediums there a few years ago that they formed what they call the skull experiment. And these mediums will sit round and make amazing things happen, like things floating through the sky and communicating. Now they got known worldwide. Now you can tune in on YouTube now and look up the skull experiment, and you will see what I'm talking about.
Right.
Well, the level these people were at was unbelievable, and it got to the stage. NASA we're talking about sent their best scientists to the skull experiment to them to debunk it, and they failed. They couldn't. They said this stuff is real. Some of the best scientists in the world sat in their circles, and they could not debunk anything that happened. It actually happens, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, this couple were members of the skull experiment, yeah?
Yeah.
And we didn't know that when we sat in circle with them. As it turns out, they've been sitting for 6 years, same time every week, same day every week, all of them sitting in a circle. And me and Penny were the two guests. So we've gone into this room. They've laid these chairs out, but there's 8 of us in there, chairs all that. Only a very small room.
Yeah.
And they blanked out the window, and they blanked out any light coming through the door. And I'm sitting there thinking, no, not again. I've done this before. How hard can it be? The difference is these people could actually do it.
Right.
So I'm sitting down with Penny, and they said, well, we put music on. They give us a bit of brief. They said, well, put the music on. Don't be frightened. These beings come through and they play with them like naughty kids. They said one of the things they do is, for example, because you have to empty your pockets and take your shoes off and these things. You can't have any weapons or anything on you, right?
Right, okay.
One of their party pieces to pull your socks off, tie them in a knot and throw them back at you in a second. Right? Now, we was told that they do this sort of thing. It's like naughty kids coming through. So when me and Penny sat in a circle, the music comes on, lights are off. Oh, my crikey. On the floor, there was hooplas, these things, like they call like these big cone things, all rattles and toys for these beings to play with that
Yeah.
float around the room. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so we're sitting there. These things come through. Right. These are shapeshifters. I swear to God, right? That they come through into this room, and it starts off. The first thing that happened was a hand passed through the wall and grabbed my leg and pulled my leg back underneath the chair.
Oh,
At that point, I've nearly passed out. Then,
surprised.
then something stabbed me right in the leg where my alien chip is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the woman sitting next to me, who didn't know me because I hadn't done the talk at that point, that's the first time I met them.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh, they've turned your tracker off." So I'm thinking, how do they know I've got a chip in my leg? How did she know
Yeah.
they've got a chip in my leg? And why are these beings, whatever, why have they got to switch it off? Well, what happened is these things come through. They pulled me, they tried to pull my sock off, but basically pulled me off the chair, right? So I've got dragged off the chair. These things are immensely strong. They
Yeah.
pulled my socks off in a second and tied them in a knot and threw them back at me. But while I'm laying on the floor and I've got my hands up like that, Penny's trying to pull me back up on the chair because I was screaming louder than anybody in there. I screamed for 2
Jesus.
hours. I might right, louder than Penny.
I
Right?
think I'd have been the same.
Seriously, I was screaming to her. Anyway, they've pulled my socks off, slung them back at me. But while I'm laying on the floor, I thought the room's changed. There was a load of toys on the floor that they could float around the room. But
Yeah.
they'd actually turned to energy. And my feet should have been on the people sitting in the chairs opposite, but they weren't. Right.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Penny's pulled me back up on the chair. I've got my socks are off now. I've got my socks. Anyway, these things then all these things started floating around the room, and you can see little blue lights when they're above you. And
Yeah.
and while this is going on, you hear bang, bang, bang. It's like a poltergeist activity. That's to keep you in place so you don't wander off. Yeah. So you confined to where you stay on your chair. And we was warned, just stay on your chair. Well, this is what I think goes on there, right? It is true. It does happen.
Yeah.
These beings come through and they come from wherever. I don't know if they come from spirit or where they come from.
Right.
I personally don't think they were spirit. I think they were something else.
Yeah.
My first thoughts were my friend Kevin Darkstorm come through, yeah, to check on me. And also my granddad from Spirit come through because I picked up on him. Check, they're watching it. So you've got you in this room, you people.
Yeah.
You've got your guides in the room with you.
Yeah.
And you've got these, whatever they are, these beings that come through. And as the night went on, all this strange stuff happening, Penny screaming, I'm screaming louder. Something invisible.
Sorry.
Something invisible picked Penny up and sat her on my lap, right? And a chair floats off. If they do. Seriously. You've got to see
I'm
this.
just picturing all this.
Right? Yeah, I'm still screaming, right? So no, there's nowhere for a chair to float off to, right? So she sat on my lap, right? And I'm thinking, my crikeys. But what I'll tell you what I spoke to about this. Barry Fitzgerald. Do you remember when we was at
Yeah.
and Paul St. Clair?
Yeah.
And anyway, as it turned out, we had 2 hours of this. I come out of there what was a sheet, you know. I really did. But the very last thing happened, you know, the very last thing, a hand appeared, right, and it shook my hand.
Yeah.
Remember what I told you yesterday that I could shake hands with them?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got the artifact. The artifact was in my pocket.
Yeah.
That a hand shook my hand. But here's the catch: I only had 3 fingers. It was not a human. It was a very big hand.
Always.
It had 3 fingers, right? Because I thought it was half a hand. I thought, it's a strange hand. And the mediums sitting in there said, "We've never seen anyone. That's never happened before here. We've never seen anybody shake their hand before." They said that's a first. Now, bear in mind, they've been doing it for 6 years. This group.
Yeah.
Well, in a nutshell, the 2 people that we're friends with used to run this circle.
Yeah.
When I got home, I was in so much shock of what happened in this circle Because what happens, your room gets bigger. It's like, Doctor Who's TARDIS.
Yeah.
It's bigger
Yeah.
inside than it is outside. That actually happens. That happens, right?
Yeah.
This is what happens in these things. And the room, not only get bigger, but it's like you're in a different place. You're like that no man's land. Yeah?
Yeah.
But the banging is to keep you in place you don't wander off.
Yeah.
Barry
So if-
Fitzgerald has had a similar thing happen.
yes.
And the Paul St. Clair, friend of Paul St. Clair's, is also sat in one of these circles. I was in so much shock, I got in touch with the guy who set up the skull experiment. Yeah. And his name, Robin Foy. I contacted him, and he lived in Spain at the time. I contacted him. And he said, "Who was you sitting with?" So I told him, and he knew obviously the people I was sitting with.
Yeah.
He said, "They're very good." I said, "Very good." I said, "This hand was 3 fingers." He said, "I know. What you're telling me is true. Could you couldn't possibly have known that." And he's quite shocked. I shook hands with the hand as well. Well, things have progressed from that. I was so shocked. I contacted Steve Meara. Yeah.
Yes.
I contacted Malcolm Robinson.
Yes.
I contacted Miles Johnson.
Yeah.
What I would class as some of the top people in our field of ufology. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not one of them has ever experienced it before. They all said the same thing, basically, like, this is really dangerous stuff you're getting into. Do you know, I wasn't getting into anything. I just happened to sit in one of these circles. But none of them, they'd all heard about it, but none of them ever sat in that one of them circles. And I had a job trying to find someone who had sat in one of the circles.
Yeah.
But then a group from Somerset, any listeners might know this place, the Parsonage in Somerset is owned by the Bex family. The Bex family do these spiritual events in their place. You should go there for like a few days. They used to do them there. Well, I actually was friends with one of the Bex family, funny enough. He came to one of my conferences.
Yeah.
So I was quite lucky that he got in touch with Derek. We do this where we are in the parsonage. And at the same time, I spoke to the skull experiment that moved to Spain. But you look up the skull experiment, it'll blow you away. But to sit in one of them rooms like that is probably one of the greatest things you could ever experience. I'd never do it again. I was offered, but I'd never do it again.
I was going to ask you that.
No.
Did you think you was put into a different dimension while you was doing it? That's why it all expanded.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Did it feel different?
Yes. Everything felt different. The floor, when we went in, was a small room with a carpet on the floor.
Yeah.
Right. The carpet had vanished. It would become a hard floor. It felt like there's a bit of, if I'm honest, because I touched with my foot, it felt like it was like a bit of inch plywood on the ground. It like a turned to plywood or something, a different floor.
Right. Okay.
But the room had got bigger. Absolutely got. It's not possible what happened, but it did happen. And you hear we hear cones and that fly through when people do this sort of thing.
Yeah.
Never mind cones. They have like a tube thing that a lot of mediums get them flying around the room. You see the little blue lights as they do this, right?
Yeah.
But never mind that, we had, Penny got lifted up and sat on my lap. I mean, that was the first thing.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And the chair floats off. I mean, you can imagine me sitting there thinking, as they do. But it's frightening. But the thing I'm trying to point, these things exist. And there's a lot of people out there that do them. I had trouble finding someone who would talk to me. And funny enough, Paul St. Clair, a friend of Paul St. Clair's, come on. And Paul said, "You need to speak to this guy, Del. He's the man. He's done what you've done." And I had a chat to the guy, and sure enough, he'd been to the parsonage and sat in one of them circles.
Yeah.
And we're friends now, actually.
Yeah.
But that's just another experience, strange experience. But these things are real, you know, until you've sat there. And I sound stupid, but until you've sat in one of these, and when you get a chance, you look up the skull experiment.
Yeah. I'll go up one weekend.
It'll blow you away. I tell you, it's scary.
Yeah. Someone's put in the chat, I think it was Tino. Hi, Tino. That they're supposed to be resetting it or restarting it.
there's variations of it. The main man has died. Who used to
Okay.
run it. Yes, they were gonna. They got a building or a restaurant out in Spain, and they're having to buy it and do it there. But since Robin's died, it's all gone a bit pear shaped. I'm
Right.
still a
Okay.
member. I am a member of the Skull Experiment in my head. I joined
Yeah.
it after what had gone on, but they're a different level altogether. Then I tell you, a scary level.
Yeah. Cool. No, thank you for all that. Right, I've got a few questions before we go for a break. We're going to do a break a little bit later than
Yeah.
like the hour, just to get through the questions, and then after the break, I'm going to talk about Anubis encounter. So the next question is from Sober Carper. Have you ever been told to back off or stop on any subject whilst you are meditating, gathering your information?
Well, I've had a run-in with Men in Black in my house.
Oh, do
Right.
tell. You
Well,
got to
I
tell
can't.
this one.
No, but it was a radio host the other end, like you're doing now.
Yeah.
The guy was based near Paul St Clair knows the guy. I won't say the guy's name because obviously it's not fair. Paul St Clair knows who this is, and Paul St Clair was listening in when this happened. I was used to do regular radio shows with somebody up
Yeah.
in Farley, yeah, near where Paul lived in Farley, and we was pretty good friends actually, and it was good fun. And then one of the shows he wanted to talk about Templars and Freemasons.
Yeah.
And I've got my computer sat on the look, here we are. I was kneeling on the floor, I had a laptop on the floor on the little table with the laptop on.
Yeah.
And as you can see, what happens there, I was doing it via Skype, so I could see the host, and the small screen down the bottom. He could see you. You could see what he could see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So kneeling down, just about to start, and this voice is from nowhere. This voice. I'd write a few starter bits on a bit of paper to give, so I didn't forget nothing. I don't read from a bit of paper, but I had a few bits written down.
Yeah. Just to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A voice says, "Do not read what's on that bit of paper." And there's no one in the room, and we're just about to go live. Right?
Yeah.
The show starts, and the guys come through on screen, and then he started the show off and introduced me that and said what he was going to talk about, and then his face turned pure white. And his face went right up to the screen. He said, "Derek, I thought you was on your own." I was like, "I am." And he just went quiet. He said, "No, you're not." And I looked down in the little screen in the corner, and standing behind me was two men in black. Yeah.
Ooh.
Standing behind me. Now, being on my front, I've only got one door in my place. That was locked.
Yeah.
My dog was asleep on the couch. What I didn't see was what he see, was he explained afterwards. They picked my dog up and laid it down. They put my dog to sleep.
Jesus.
Right? And Paul St Clair, down in I'll tell you who was listening. Steve Wills down in Warminster, he was listening. In fact, there was, say, 40, 50 people listening to this. What happened when it kicked off? And anyway, these things, these besides the two men in black, there was something else in the room. I actually think, I could be wrong here, but I think the men in black were protecting me. I think whoever else is in the room, there's something that growled at me. Sounds ridiculous, but a growling noise.
No. Yeah, I've had that.
And the growling noise, I think, was a problem. But the men in black, I think, were protecting me. Well, the host, like yourself, could see what was going on standing behind me.
Yeah.
And he was in like panic, and he put his face right up to the camera. He said, "Del, you're not alone, right?" And I've looked at the little screen thinking, now I'm thinking, now what am I going to do here? If I stand up and confront them, I'm going to have to do something about this, right? Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fight
And
or
I'm
flight,
thinking,
isn't it?
I'm facing the door, so they couldn't come in through the door. I'm thinking, I'm going to have to do something about this. I seriously didn't know what to do. And then they cut the connection off, so the Skype went off. So I've put it back on again, right? And they've done the same to the other end, the other guy's end. They switched his off.
Putting that down.
But then they put me down. When I say put me down, I'm sitting there and I started feeling faint. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
how they done it. I thought I'm going to pass out, and lucky I was nearly on the ground because I did. But just
Yeah.
on going down, they paid him a visit. In a split second, they went to his studio.
The same ones.
Yeah, well, I don't know, but they
They look
looked
the
like him.
same.
That they just appeared in his studio, and I see him push him back into his chair,
Yeah.
and they ended the show. Now, while all this was going on, my house phone was ringing, my mobile was ringing, I was getting messages over on my phone. It
Yeah.
was literally everyone could hear all the commotion that went on. But my
Right.
crikey, that scared the life out of me. But yes, in this case, I was not allowed to talk about UFOs. Sorry, not UFOs. Templars and Freemasons.
Freemason.
That was going to be the theme of the show, but so they stopped us doing that.
Ah, that's very
And,
interesting.
and
I was
yeah,
just going to say,
the question is
just
going.
quickly, the nicknames put, was any of it captured? Amazing to hear this. Did any of it get filmed or?
Oh, what? Not in the skull experiment stuff. On the skull experiment, yeah, that you see
Yeah.
on TV on YouTube,
Yeah.
that was filmed. The
Right.
hand that you see, if anybody happens to watch it,
Yeah.
is not real. They had to use a hand to
Oh, like
to-
reconstruction.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, because it's done in the dark. It's normally done total darkness. For whatever
Yeah.
the darker it is, the better off they are coming. Always
Yeah.
is for them to come through. I think, or they can't be seen or can't reveal themselves. I don't know the truth to that.
Okay. No, I think she meant with the Skype call with Paul Sinclair and the other guy. Was any of that?
Oh right, there. Yeah. Well, no, the Men in Black thing. We had it on Skype. We both see it. The other people were. It wasn't like what we're doing here. It was just a
Yeah,
radio
because you
show.
don't do it. Yeah,
Skyped.
it's
It was.
pre-recorded.
Yeah. It wasn't. It was a live thing, not on film.
Yeah, so it was a live feed for you that was sat there.
Yeah,
but
just us
nobody.
two.
Yeah.
It wasn't for everybody.
No, I got you. See what you mean now. Right. We have got a couple more questions.
Yeah.
So next one is from Lauren and Angel.
All right.
Great show. Does Derek think we can have previous lives on other planets? Thank you.
Yes, I do. I think I've had one actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm a great believer, and I used to follow Dolores Cannon. I don't know if ever heard of Dolores
Yeah.
Cannon.
Yes.
Yeah. She said that you keep coming back, and if you do something wrong, you're karma, you come back and relive. But she also said, if you read one of her books, and she talks about the 3 waves of volunteers, where
Right.
people from other planets were asked to come this time round to help sort this planet out. And this does make sense. Obviously, this planet has been destroyed, as far as I can make out, 3 times before. We've had the
Right.
Great Flood that we all know about. Before that has been other stuff. Atlantis has vanished. Do you know what I mean? Just the planet's been around it's older than what you think. So we're millions and millions of years. A lot of the things like the pyramids, I personally believe, were built thousands of years ago. They weren't built by the Egyptians as we know it. I don't think. I think the Egyptians moved into them, the same as the Mayans moved into their pyramids. And
Yeah.
I think the
I
things were
agree
already
with you on
sounded.
that. Yeah, definitely.
That's my opinion. Yeah, like you think the same, but this is our opinion. I can't prove that, but
no.
I do believe that we've been around a few times.
Yeah.
And I think the 3 waves of volunteers, as like some of us have lived lives on other planets.
Yeah.
Now, my friend who come through us, and I told you about that Kevin Darkstorm.
Yes.
He told us that was a few years ago that he was leaving Spirit World and going to Zeta Reticuli.
Right.
Now, he's got no reason to lie to us, but he said he'd be away for a while, but if I ever need him, he can contact me. But basically, that's where he was going to, Zeta Reticuli. Now, how true that is. I can't prove any of this, but I
No.
think, yes, I do think we've lived on other planets. I think this planet has been around a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Lewis Cannon says we have to live every sort of life, whether it be you have to be a part of life as a tree, part of a life as a plant, a blade of grass, a fly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
know how true that is. I really don't know. None of us do, I suppose. But yes,
No.
I do think we've been on other planets. And sometimes you get a little bit of, and you get something in mind, like a strange dream or something, and you think, I've been here before. You've never been there, as far as
A
you
bit
know.
like deja vu.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, I would say yes to that.
Yeah. Thank you. Next question, please. And this is from Tino. Hello, Derek. Are weird things still being seen in Rendlesham Forest? Thanks.
Not yes and no. Yes, things are being seen. Not all areas though, because Redsham Forest, you imagine it as a country.
Yeah.
One area have something happen, and unless you're going to be in an area, you might not see it.
Yeah.
Some of the areas that have been known for being highly active might quieten down, and it might be active in another part of the forest that you don't normally go to.
Yeah.
So I know, like where Alex would probably say that he's probably been there more times than me at the moment in time. That it's very quiet there at the moment. But it depends what you're dealing with and where you're dealing with it. When I was doing me healing there over the last few years, I could make it active because of what I was doing.
Yes.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah. You're bringing it to that place.
Yeah, exactly. And I presume it's the same thing in the forest. Different parts of forest that we've seen different beings,
Yeah.
or shadow people have turned up, but that shadow people say turn up in one place, the monks have turned up at another place. Zeta reticulars will turn up saying somewhere else. Different areas. It's like they've got their own little communities or portals, wherever you
Yeah.
want to put
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I mean, I can't see it not being active at any time. To be truthful, I mean, I had a spate there that was mega active back in the 80s and 90s, but that's because
Yeah.
I suppose they got your, bombs there, aren't they, and planes and that there.
Yeah. I suppose if the bases aren't being used like they was, what,
Yeah.
20, 30, 40 years ago, then there is going to be less activity. It's like anywhere, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you for
Right.
that.
That's right.
Got another question, and this is from Ogety or Elaine. Thank you. Do you ever get any of these entities going back home with you and staying?
Yes, I have had. I've also been hurt,
Oh,
been roughed up actually. Yeah, I went up in hospital over something that went wrong. But yes, I mean, generally speaking, now I'm more trained than I was. When I got
yeah,
hurt, I wasn't into mediumship. That's why one of the reasons I got into mediumship is because every time I went to the forest, I relied on Brenda Butler, who's a really good channel and medium, and she'd done
yes,
the protection bit. But when you're not into that sort of thing, you tend to forget about it. So the one time or the odd times I've been there and haven't done it, I've come a cropper. One of our,
uh,
what a friend of mine and Alex, for example, Christian Nash,
yeah,
he had some bad things happening to him down the forest, and he used to go to the forest more or less every weekend, have
yeah,
himself a barbecue, go on his own, and then he used to come and stay at mine one of the nights on the
yeah,
way back. I said let him stay there, and the 1 week that he said could he stay, I said I just had the place painted so he couldn't stay, which
right.
is a shame. And of course he drove home, had a car accident, died that
Oh,
night.
yeah,
So me and Alex lost a friend there, was a friend of all of us
yeah,
actually.
wow,
But he was having, and he sent me the pictures that night of the beings he was dealing with. There's some dangerous stuff. He wasn't protecting himself either, and
no,
he should never. You never, when you start doing this stuff, you never do it on your own.
no,
Not 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 unless you know what you're doing.
yeah. Even then, it's still a big risk, isn't it?
It is a massive risk. It's very very frightening, I'll tell you. And I've been in these situations, and I'm thinking, shit, I shouldn't have done that. It's quite worrying.
Because the thing is, you don't know. I don't care what anyone says. You don't know exactly what you're dealing with, how powerful these energies are, where they come from, and most of all, what they're capable of doing. If they can make something move without having a physical form, that's going to be like at the bottom of the list of their, what's the word? Capability.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have been to a house in Felixstowe here to sort out when they thought they had poltergeist activity, and the local church asked me to go, and that's a couple of years, or 3 years back actually. And I'll just tell you this quickly because I know you want to break. I've gone to this house, and funny enough, when the woman answered the door, she knew me. I knew her and her husband, but it was her daughter and her daughter's fella who were living in this house. And she said, yeah, I've asked the church. She said, I didn't know you'd done this sort of thing. I thought it was UFOs. I said, no, the church has asked me to come and have a look at this.
Yeah.
Now, before I went, I took some advice on this. If that had been poltergeist activity, I would have turned around and walked off, and I sent what we call the bailiffs in. There's a group of mediums called the bailiffs, yeah? They handle that type of thing. We call them a bailiff for a reason. They go in mob-handed, and they get hurt out of it sometimes.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I've gone to this house, right? It's only in the sea, funny Philly, so on the door. And what the problem was, the report was that they'd had vases kept exploding in the house, yeah?
Right. Yeah.
And also, the baby was in the bath and the plug had been pulled out. And they thought it was poltergeist activity going on. Well, anyway, so I've gone round there. I've walked in the door. Now, this is one of the times I connected that quick.
Yeah.
I walked in the door. First off, I've got a name. So I walked in the door and I got this name. So I said, I've just got a name come through. And there was the old girl. Well, I say the old girl, she's my age actually. There's the mother, and then there's a young couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I gave him this name, and it turned out it was the young lad's dad. His dad was in spirit.
Right.
So that was the first clue. Right. So I thought, well, that's a start. I've got that right. I said, what I'm going to have to do, I said, they're telling me I've got to talk to you all separately, one at a time. So I spoke to the son first, the young lad first. Then I spoke to the mother, and then I've got to the young woman who's got the young baby.
Yeah.
So she said, yes, I was in the kitchen here, and they still got the exploded vase in the kitchen. I said, no, she did this. I said, look, cut to the chase here, right? They're telling me up here what's happened. I said, you've put the baby in the bath. Let's go from there. And she just looked at me. She couldn't believe what I was telling her. She said, well, yeah. She said, put the baby in the bath. I said, yeah. And you put the plug in the bath. I said, and you've walked in the kitchen to answer your phone. Yeah?
Yeah.
She said, how do you know? I said, well, we're trying to go through this is what they're telling me. Did you or didn't you? She said, yes. I said, you was on the phone. I said, what's happened is the baby could have died. So the spirit have pulled the plug out to drain the bath. And to get her attention, they've exploded a vase in the kitchen, right? Because she's still yapping on the phone.
Yes.
So then she's gone back. She's got frightened. She's gone run into the bathroom and see there's no water in the bath. And she's worried about what's just happened. So she instead of taking the baby out of the bath, she's done it a second time. She put the plug in the bath, run the bath with a baby sitting, put a young baby in the bath. Gone running out in the kitchen. This time she's picked up the phone to ring up her mother-in-law to tell her there's a poltergeist or ghost in there that's exploding vases. So the spirit done another one. They actually took out another vase to get their attention. And they drained the bath a second time. So I went through it with them all, what happened, and that all ended on a good note. It wasn't poltergeist, it was spirit, and it happened to be the boy's father in his spirit trying to protect him.
Yeah, trying to help, warn them.
It's a nice story to sort of end on. Do you want to have a break now? Because I've got my dog's trying to scatter the door.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to say, right, we've got
Yeah.
2 more questions.
Yeah, all right.
See,
yeah,
I can do
them.
the last half hour, so we'll do a
Yeah.
3-minute break.
Yeah.
In fact, I can do the last 20 minutes. I'll drag it out for 20 minutes. It doesn't matter, but we can always do that bit and then come back to you anyway. So
Just do your questions if you
whatever's
want.
gonna, yeah. So whatever's gonna work, we'll do that. So we'll do a 3-minute break. We'll do the rest of the questions and then we'll move on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever suits you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right. We'll see you guys in 3 minutes. Have a drink, go to the loo, buy a burger, whatever. See you then.
eight, seven, six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
And we are back. Well, I am. Derek's still not made it back.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No,
Sorry.
he's done it. He's done it. The Marathon Man did it again. That was good timing, that.
Good timing.
Oh, right. I was going to do a little song and dance then. I wasn't sure what to do.
That's right. You'll get good. It's lovely when people send questions in because it's a good interaction. I love all that.
Oh,
sort
yeah,
of thing.
yeah. I don't like doing pre-records. I only do pre-records if I really, really have to. I prefer the what you see is what you get, the interaction from people and the views. If I mess up and just carry on. The same with the guests. It's like, it's the real side to everything, I think.
It is. It's a real deal, isn't it? You know, you're live, you're doing your best. And
yeah,
and
I don't write,
easy.
same as you, I don't write anything down. Now and again, I have a couple of notes. And that's more for, like, especially if someone's got a difficult name and the pronunciation of it, So
Yeah.
write it down phonetically to make it easier. And yeah, I still get it wrong, so it doesn't matter. I don't even know what.
I'm terrible with names. I am.
I'll have the name in front of me. I'm like, I know I'm going to mess it up as soon as I open my mouth. Right. Right. So we've got 3 more questions, and I think that's going to be it on the questions because we need to move on to my bit without being pushy or anything. But
No, that's fine.
Right. So next question is from Bim Jim. Hi. It goes, right. I've seen them shape shifting. How many fingers do the tall whites have?
Be truthful, I don't actually know. I mean, my encounter that I've shook hands with something that had 3 fingers.
Yeah.
It felt like half a hand. It was a big hand, but it felt like half a hand. But in truthful, I'd be guessing. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I've seen people's pictures, and I can't say I know for certain. I don't know.
Okay. No, cheers for that. So can I just ask that the thing that you shook hands with, what do you believe it was? Or what do you believe it to be?
Well, because of the way things are happening, I mean, I asked, we done some bit of research on it. I asked Brenda, and she asked Kevin in spirit, and he said they were shapeshifters. Exact words were they were shapeshifters. My first thoughts, which are normally pretty good, I thought these are like the little Irish beings. What do you call them, little Irish?
Oh, leprechauns.
Leprechaun. They were like naughty kids. I mean, when all this was going on, they were flicking water at us and playing with us. Do you know what I mean? They jump on your lap.
Messing about and
and things were floating around on the ground, and you can see. The only reason you can see is because the little blue lights. And also, they wrote a note out for me. It was like in kids' writing. They gave me and Penny a letter, a really nice letter welcoming us to their group. And
so
there's like kids' writing.
Yeah. So do you think then they're the Fae folk? That obviously that's what they're known as. That's the genre of what they are.
In this experience with the skull experiment thing, I think they possibly were. But they were able to shapeshift, without a doubt. But they were immensely strong. I mean, they try to pull me socks off. So I'm not little as such. I'm not very tall, but I weigh 12, 13 stone. They pulled me off the chair in ease.
Yeah, and that was from under the chair and backwards, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, and a hand that passed through the wall. I mean, that scared the life out of me. They are immensely strong, much stronger than a human.
Yeah. So do you think that if these things are shapeshifters, then these can form into any type of creature that either we've witnessed or other people have witnessed that they give accounts at. So whether they are tall greys, short greys, reptilians, praying mantis type, whether there's some sort of Dogman or whatever, do you think they can shapeshift into any of these and then go back to that ball of light, what we know as orbs?
I think they probably can, but I think what we're dealing with is like an orb, for example. Wherever you look at it, I see an orb as a technology that we haven't got. And if you zoom into orbs, you'll see beings in the orbs. Some of them have got loads of beings in the orbs. They're technology. Whether you look at it, they're a technology.
Yeah.
We're dealing with presumably higher technology than what we've got. Yeah. Although we are a danger now to other planets and other life forms. We probably always have been. But this is only my opinion. I think, yes, they can shapeshift. What I have learnt is, and it's happened on a few occasions now, your guides and your protectors in spirit or wherever they come from are with you when these things happen.
Yeah.
You're not on your own. You might think you're on your own, but you're not. Do you know what I mean? Your guides are with you, whether it be your higher self or however you want to look at it. Your guides are with you when you have these things happening.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. He says, I've had some, just nothing too exciting. But when I've had like little things happen to me when I've been out and about, and then it should have been, I suppose, not worst case scenario, but a worse scenario than what actually happened. There must have been something there protecting me to a degree.
Yeah, I think there always are. I mean,
Yeah,
in most occasions, when I've had something strange happen, which is rather a lot for some reason, there's always been. I've now learned. It took me in the last probably 7, 8 years. I've learned about the spiritual side of things and realised that the spirits are with us. But it's like anything: if you don't ask, you don't get. Do you understand what I mean? So,
yeah.
and I've
Totally.
learned about protecting myself and that sort of thing. I say my prayers every day. I speak to the universe usually twice a day, actually. Once in the morning, once in the evening, and ask for things and thank the universe. Always thank the universe.
Yeah,
If you're sitting in a spiritual circle, for example, then the lead medium will go to Great White Spirit, as opposed to the universe. Me personally, I speak to universe direct. I believe in cutting out the middleman. That's probably not the right way of thinking about things, but that's what I do.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Right, 2 more questions. So next one is from Lawson Richards. Hi, Lawson. Thanks for letting me know as well, by the way. He knows what I'm on about, so it's all good. Question for Derek. Do you think a building inherits bad spirits or woods, etc.?
Yeah, you get. I think spirits are attached to all sorts of things, as well as people. I mean, I do cleansing as well. Like in my house, for example, I use white sage, and every now and then I sage a whole house. I open up the doors and the windows, go around every room, and I speak to the universe and say, all positive stuff's allowed in, all negative stuff has to leave.
Yeah.
And I've had certain things happen. I'll give you a quick example. I had someone send me a gin once, right? So I met on the internet, and they sent a gin to check me out.
Ooh.
I was laying in bed, and I felt this being sitting on my chest, and I couldn't breathe. I thought something sitting on my chest, and a little voice. Now this is your spirit, your guide. The spirit said to me, say the words, "I command you to leave." And exactly what I said. I said, "I command you to leave," and it went that quick.
Yeah.
In the morning, I got up, I went on the internet. I thought, I know this come from this particular fella. And before I messaged him, he'd messaged me, and his exact words were, "How the f did you do that? How the f did you do that?" Right? He could not believe it. I don't know how I did it. It's because my guide came through and told me what to say. And it worked. It does work. I think a lot of our problems is if you don't necessarily believe in it, shall I say, you haven't got the trust in it. You do need the trust. You've got to trust in something. And if you trust in spirit or the universe, in my case, then they do come through for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was told a while back, I suppose throughout life, but with the paranormal realm, is to go with your gut feeling. Doesn't matter what it is or anything, whether it's good or bad, whatever gut feeling you've got, that's the universe telling you what you need to do.
Right. Now, you just mentioned the gut feeling, yeah? Your chakras, yeah?
Yes. Yeah. It's like the solar plexus, isn't it? Just below.
That's it. And that's where the chakra is. That chakra I said you have to protect yourself with. That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever I get a feeling there, if I'm out doing an investigation, it's not always a bad feeling. Sometimes it's like, this is really good. I get a proper good buzz off it. Not often. It's more, it's time to leave sort of thing.
Yeah.
But with the gut feel, I go with that 100%. I don't question it. I don't hesitate or an hour.
And sometimes they come in signs, don't they?
Yeah. Sometimes I think, do I really want to do this now? It's one of them. You don't want to, but you know you have to. So it's like getting to a good bit of a film and then having to leave. It's one of them moments.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good way. Right, actually,
Yeah. So, But definitely go with the gut. And for me, the gut is the universe.
It is. And your solar plexus, like you say, your chakras, yeah? That's why you open the chakras up. And you always shut down the chakras when you finish. What are you doing?
Yeah. No,
Right,
thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, your next question. What's what you got?
Next question. This is the last one. So this is from a spiritual odyssey. So the question is, besides your last story, have you ever had? Oh, told you can't read it. I can't see it. Have you ever had have you ever had any other MIB experiences? Excuse me.
To be honest, the only one I can think of was in me room here. When they stopped me doing the what's name. But we have had other experiences when we've had the like Colonel Colt conference, for example. We had MI5 or MI6, or shall I say spooks, try to mess it up, stop Colonel Colt talking. Like they'd walk around, unplug the sound system and things like that. So, but on the Men in Black, just that one time in my house, I think this is fair to say. I've had many other experiences from black-eyed kids to all sorts, but Men in Black was just that one in the house, I think.
Yeah. No, thank you for that.
That's right. Thank everybody for the questions, because you've obviously got a lot of people tuning in, which is really nice. I feel quite honoured actually to be part of this.
It's the last today and yesterday. From looking at the people coming in, I know we've changed the StreamYard that I'm using. I can send it out to more destinations now, so it's going out to LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So I'm hoping, obviously, it brings more people in, and with guests like yourself, I'm hoping that draws more people in, and we get the word out and share what's really going on to everyday people. And that's, to me, that's what it's all about. But really do appreciate you coming on and sharing this, because it was August when I met you? It was it's Bank Holiday weekend, wasn't it? It was. Manchester. Yeah, and it's like it just feels like a lifetime from there, and you actually coming on. So,
and the way we met, and the fact that you know my sister and Alex, and it's a small word when you start looking around at the people you know that you know you get to meet so many people in this, and I class everybody in these fields as genuine people. If you have an experience, who do you talk to about it? You see a ghost or a UFO, you know, you do need someone to talk to about it.
Definitely, 100%.
And normally it's people who've experienced similar, you know.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Right, so I'm going to ask a question now, and this is to do with this weekend coming. So there's a few of us going up to, I'm going up to Cannock Chase. Some of them will be going down and across. So Simon is one of the guys who's going. He's put, can't wait to meet Black Eyed Kids on Saturday. Because as you know, Cannock Chase is known for Black Eyed Kid sightings.
Yeah.
What advice? Everything. Liquid Orbs, Dogman, Pigman, Wild Men, UFOs, portals, all kinds of stuff. So what advice would you give us? Because for when we get there and to get back safely?
Well, I've had an experience with Black Eyed Kids, and they hypnotise you. I had one in the middle of Clacton Market.
Really?
Yeah, it was to do with. Nice, I had some film footage from when I was with Essex UFO Group.
Yeah.
Well, I got a bit of film footage there that I wasn't supposed to have. The plane, when it was flying over the corn circle, it filmed the army filming us, but that wasn't all was caught on film. There's some other stuff, and in a nutshell, I had some film footage I shouldn't have had.
Yeah.
And this Black-Eyed Kid turned up on a car boot sale one Sunday morning. I never ever carried my UFO stuff. That particular day before, I split up with a girl I was living with, and all my stuff ended up in my van, along with my stuff I was going to sell that day. So basically we split up. and I had the stuff, my own personal stuff in the van. Went down a boot sale to try and earn a few quid, sort of be upset as you are when these things happen. And I had no UFO or paranormal stuff for sale whatsoever on the stall, just a load of junk that I was getting rid of, really. And first thing in the morning, black-eyed kid comes walking up to the stall and says, Derek, can I have all UFO stuff? And I don't know how he done it. Seriously, I wouldn't sell the stuff, I don't give it away. And I handed him 7 carrot bags for all the films and paperwork, the lot.
Jesus.
The whole lot. I handed him the whole lot.
Did anyone else see it? Do you know?
Well,
Did anyone say anything to you?
Well, it's just like an ordinary kid. He looked like about a 12-year-old kid that that was a bit disleveled, shall I say? I mean, I've done that boot sale and market there for 15 years in Clacton. Never have I seen this kid before or after. He just come walking up. Now, how did he know that I had that stuff in my van? I only put it in that night, the night before. Get there in the morning, and they knew I had it, and they took it off me in a nutshell. But there was about 8 o'clock in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, he come to the stall. I was setting up. I'll give him the stuff. He's walked off, and it was like I was in a dream till dinner time, till it was time to pack up. I've been serving people, but it didn't sink in what had happened. I hypnotised you somehow. So if you go to Cannock Chase and you encounter a black-eyed kid, just be careful what you do, because they do hypnotise you. But in reality, what I would say is, I always, if it's a group of you, you protect yourselves. Always do protection. Ask the universe for protection. If you don't ask, you don't get.
I always do that way.
And for those who don't know how to do this, this is a quick, easy way. Imagine that you come up to, you've got a big golden balloon in front of you, and you step inside it, right? And you're surrounded by a golden balloon, or golden ball in the middle of it. Anything negative approaches you, it bounces off. And you ask that to be your cloak of protection. It's a quick, easy way of doing it. And you say, I say a prayer when I do it as well. But ask for protection, and that will protect you. Nothing can touch you. Easy way of doing it, really.
Yeah, that's pretty similar to what I do anyway. But I just thought try something different. So, because we're doing something different when we get there. So, no, thank you for that.
That's
really
right. You got the pig man up there as well. You got all sorts. I've got a book on Chase here somewhere.
High Tower, but I think we're going to the other end. So, yeah. So like I said, I'm taking the dowsing rods, pendulum. I'm taking a few crystals, digital recorder, EMF meter, camera, and that's pretty much it, really. I'm not taking loads of stuff like I normally do, because I want to try different techniques of doing stuff. So I'm just going to see how it goes, and fingers crossed we come back to tell the story.
Oh yeah, hopefully, but is there many of you going?
Between 3 and 5.
Well, that's all right. It's nice. It's a nice, sensible sized group.
Not too many, and not too few.
No, but that's a group where you've got a chance of having an encounter with something. Whereas you have a too big a group, there's too many of you. It's a different ball game then, because you outnumbering whatever you're encountering by too many. You have 20, 30 people there. There's too many for spirits to come through, really.
No, I agree with you on that. The less people, the more chance of anything happening. I always thought that. Right, so are you staying on while we talk about this? I'd like you to, because of where and when it happened. So what I'm going to do is change the background quickly. There we go. Easy as that. So what this happened, I think it was 2 years. I think it was 2 years ago, around about this time here. It was about 5, 6. Oh, ruin it for everyone now. It's about 5, 6 weeks before Christmas.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. I was driving from East Kings Lynn, so going from the coast back inland. So I was going east to west ish.
Yeah.
I've got a photograph because I've been past there a few times since, and the last couple of times I went, I've took photos of it. But oh, here we go. I couldn't remember where I put the photo. So, right, I'll leave the photo off for now, just while I tell you what happened. So, I'm at the job that I'm doing now. We go all over the place, got middle of nowhere, city centres, and everywhere else in between. So, I've been over to Norwich, and I'm coming back in towards Northampton. So, I'm coming through Kings Lynn, and where I was to where I was going to was about between 15 and a 25-minute drive. So I'm going down what A road it was, I can't remember. And the turn off to the right, and it's like country lane. But as you'll know the roads around there and anyone else that lives in that area, you've got a lot of sand bankings with the grass and the farms and that. There's not a lot of soil. The roads are very sandy, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm driving down, and the road keeps going narrow, then opening up again. And as I'm going up towards this was just before it happened. As I'm coming up to a bend that bears round to the right, there's a DPD van coming the other way. So we both slow down and pull over so we don't smack mirrors. So as I come round this bend, it then straightens out, but then there's another bend coming round to the right. So as it comes round to the right, so ignore the blue circles for a minute. There's nothing behind them, only trees. That's just so I can explain what was going on. So as I'm coming round to the right, I pull level with the tree in the middle of the two blue circles. Yeah.
Yeah.
And on my left, just before that, there's a pig farm. And the entrance to that farm is just before the start of these trees. So where the two trees are on the left-hand side, that is literally the edge of the woods.
All right. Yeah.
So as I'm pulling round, I then pull level with the bigger blue circle, the one that's more central.
Yeah.
So as I pull level with that, I see, I don't know if you guys are watching it back, and you watch it back, if you want to take a screenshot and zoom in, it's probably better for you. So this photograph's about 2-3 weeks after the encounter. Excuse me. Is that background noise? Is that you, Derek?
So that's my dog. He's kicking off a bit, but
oh right, okay.
I'll shout him in a minute. What?
I thought it was an EVP or something. It's all right. I'll just carry on. So as I'm coming round, the blue circle in the middle is where I could see something that was in high definition. Because if you look at the trees and the bark on the trees, that you can see how dry and brittle it all is. Even the ground, it's like there's only like little bits of grass, all the leaves are dry. And what I seen, it was like a solid black, like I'm talking jet black, and a really deep tan brown. And I seen it from the waist up. Now, as I'm still driving, so I'm still moving. I didn't stop at any point because you'll understand why in a moment. So it was stood in front of that tree that I've circled. And I said it was jet black, like the bottom of the screen where they got the text going across now. And the tan brown on it, it was like in uniform. So where it had a tan brown on the left-hand shoulder, like a patch, whatever shape it was identical on the right-hand side. It was, the van I was in was taller than the one I'm in now. So roughly, I was looking at eye level to eye level. So eye level alone, I'd say was between 6 and 6.5 foot. So I thought it was a lot lower, but it's not. So the top of its head to the top of its head must have been between 6.5 foot and 7 foot from the ground.
Oh, wow.
But I'm not 100% sure if that was the actual height of it, which I'll explain in a moment. So as I'm coming round, I just seen it from the waist up and carried on. And then I was thinking about it like 10, 20 minutes before I spoke to anyone and told them what had gone on. Anyway, so this was the next time I came past. Now, I thought this ground was a lot higher than the road. But I don't know if you can see, because I've not got any of the road in the photograph. At the very bottom of the photo, that is literally where the road starts. So you've got a bit of a banking that comes up, but then it drops down again. So the level of that, where them trees are, is only a couple of inches higher than the road itself. It is quite level. So, and this is a weird thing now. So when it was happening, I'm driving around, I seen it appear. I thought there's some brush or brambles or something in front of it. You know, when something's happened, you're trying to remember exactly what happened, and you can't remember the full details. I said it wasn't until I went back and took this photograph. You can clearly see there's nothing in front of it. It's just dry grass. So there's nothing there. So what I'd seen was from the waist up. And as I come around the bend, I was looking down. So this is the bend. So as I'm coming around the bend, that's the point that you get. I parked up at this point. If I was to drive off, then that would be on your left-hand side at 90 degrees.
Yeah.
As I got to that point, that's where I seen it. We made eye contact, and the eyes were like an orangey green fluorescent colour. I've never seen that colour before. I've not seen it again since. And that was more than the jet black. That was what caught my eye quite literally, more than anything else about it. And as soon as I made eye contact, I got a message in my head, and it was, shit, he see me. And then it went. It didn't dissolve. It didn't fade away. It didn't smoke or anything like that. It just didn't. No, that was it. It didn't blend away. It was 1 second it was there, the next second nothing, and didn't see it again after. But the way, I'll just take that picture off. So the way it was stood, it was sort of like that, like it was protecting something. So you could see the definition of the muscles.
Yeah.
You could see the chest was solid. Sorry, 1 second. Kids in the next room making loads of noise. You could see how solid the muscles were. The neck was really thin. It looked like a Doberman that stood up on its back legs.
Right, yeah.
Ears, they weren't at the side. They wasn't right on top. There's like in between. So like as the top of your head where it starts to curve, there was like there, but there's only little pointed ears. Now, I can't remember the colour of them, but I know it had tan on its face, and it was one side and then identical on the other. Didn't see any teeth, didn't see the length of its snout, because I was looking directly at it like I'm looking at you now. There's no side profile or anything like that, because by the time it'd gone round, it had gone anyway. But it looked like it was stood there like it's protecting something. And it's just really weird because I couldn't work. It took, like I said, 10, 20 minutes afterwards to process what had gone on. And and all I kept saying, did I just see what I think I saw? And you're just going through it and going through it. And I ended up parking up for like 5 minutes and just sitting there like, right, I know what I've seen. I know the colours, and I made mental note of everything that I could see. And sorry, someone's just put in the chat that the Dogman thing looks like my body. I didn't even notice that.
But your first thoughts. Your thoughts are really important. What your first thoughts were.
So I doubted myself straight away. It's like, did I really see it? Did I actually see what I think I saw? And you just keep going through it, going over and over and over. And I knew what I'd seen, but it's like I didn't believe I'd seen it. Do you know what I mean? You can't believe the fact of that's what really happened. And then after I'd been thinking about it, I was a little bit gutted because I thought, well, if that was a Dogman encounter of sort, it wasn't as impressive as I thought it would have been when he had one. I thought it'd be like some big werewolf type thing running out the trees and chasing or going after some or carrying a deer up. Do you know what I mean? Like you'd expect to hear. It was there. It looked at me. It did mind speak, and then it had gone, and that was it. It was over within less than 2 seconds.
Do you think that was like in another dimension?
I don't know, but it was solid. The thing is, it was solid colour. It was solid black, solid brown. Didn't see any gold on it. The only other colour was the eye colour, and it was a colour that I've never seen before. And I don't know. I just don't know what or how to explain it other than that. The windows, I always have, in winter, I always have the passenger window open just a little bit, just to let a bit of air in as I'm driving about. It can get stuffy, especially when you've got the heater on. There's no sound coming from it. Didn't smell anything. I was working out, was it a reflection of something? I didn't have my headlights on. It's just normal driving lights, like the automatic daytime lights.
Yeah,
it was on. There's no other vehicles about other than that DPD van, and then it's about another 2 minutes up the road before I passed anything else. But like I said, just before that woods on the left, there was a pig farm. But as so you can see the woods again there, but it's like the woods, like it starts off at a point and then goes out and expands the depth and the length, and then all comes back down and back to another point. As it was getting about, I'd say about halfway through these woods, the woods are only about 300 meters long. There's another pig farm on my right hand side of the road opposite the woods that was probably about half a mile, the length of that farm at least. And there's all the pigs and what have you rolling around in the mud. So both farms were active. Now, I was thinking, was it there because it had to go and feed? I don't know. I still don't know what to think.
That's a good point there. I'll just go quickly tell this. Venison Forest is surrounded by pig farms.
Yes.
All around the forest.
Everywhere.
And like you say, it does make you wonder, like in this case we were talking about, if they do need to feed there. Yeah. And a pig farm's pretty good thing, because I know you hear of people where dogs eat the small pigs that are born and that piglets. Yeah. And it could just be what you're dealing with there. Might just need to feed.
Yeah. Yeah, because like there's not many other farmed animals really. You've got down near Mildenhall, you've got a few goats and sheep going up the A14.
Yeah,
and like off the A47 and that. But it's mostly pig farms, isn't it?
It is, and the pig farms do make you wonder if they do go and feed on the piglets or whatever.
Yeah, but
I mean, it might have come from another dimension into our dimension just to feed and then bugger off again.
Yeah, well, that is the only thing that I could think of. But it was stood there like it was guarding something, like it was protecting. Like you see bodyguards protecting, say, the president or whoever. They were stood there like that, like you're not getting past, sort of thing. But there's a couple of questions in the chat. So this one, Simon, he's put, was it speaking to another one, do you think? But no, because I heard the message in my head, and this is the most ridiculous thing, because it's the only time it's ever happened. Well, no, it's not the only time it's happened, because I've had it when I've been out investigating. I always forget stuff like that.
Yeah,
but that's the same with that gut feeling. It's like when I'm out investigating, there's something starting to happen. It's time to leave now, and it's just a message in my head. But it wasn't the same as that. This was a direct message. I heard the message inside my head and not with my ears.
Yeah.
It wasn't my voice. It wasn't. There's no accent to it. It was just a generic voice saying "shit, you see me," and then it was gone.
Yeah, that what you've just said, I've heard that a few times of different encounters people have had
Yeah,
where they're not supposed to see it, and the voice in their head they've heard, shit, they've seen us, or something
yeah,
to that effect.
yeah. But that's what it was, because someone said, well, if it was an Anubis, they wouldn't use language like that. But then, if they're not speaking English, if it's translated from there to here, because I was only 30 foot away from that at the most.
Yeah. Can I just tell you something? If
yeah.
you do EVP recordings, and we've done this, if you ask the question in English, you get the answer back in English, yeah?
Yes.
The spirit, yeah?
Yeah.
We've stood in the forest and the guy spoke German, and he's asked a question in German, he's got the answer back in German.
Right.
So whatever language you speak and whatever you're dealing with, whether it was an alien, whether it was whatever,
Yeah.
a spirit or a dogman, whatever,
Yeah.
they would answer back in the same language. Well, that's my experience and what we've found anyway.
Yeah.
So
I did think that, because then whatever language you speak, then that's what it would be, unless it's like a residual haunting or something. But it's just like stone tape theory. But Sober's just put, Andy, have you heard of any other similar sightings in the area? I haven't, but I don't know that area. I know how to get back there because I've mapped it all and I found it on Google Maps. So I've wrote it all down. I know the exact point. I could take you there right now if I had the time. And there's a little village just afterwards. I think there's a garage just past it. And it weren't for cars, it was like for trucks and vans. There was that, and then there's a few little villages on the way back out, but there's nothing really nearby. There's no shops, no pubs, no post office, none of your normal amenities that you'd get in like some of the little villages where you can go down the high street and you never have to leave because they've got everything you need there. There was nothing like that. There might have been a pub, but I don't remember seeing one. But definitely no shops, and there's nobody about. Someone said to me, do you think it could be someone in fancy dress? Well, if they could, they would have had to squeeze into this outfit. The neck would have been as thick as a plastic beaker because it was a really thin neck. The neck was as thin as my wrist. So I don't know. I don't think it's someone in fancy dress. They're stood in the woods waiting for someone to drive past and then pop up and then vanish. Do you know what I mean?
Being near a pig farm's a good place to hide, would you believe it or not? And if you think about it, people see pigs or strange animals, they'd avoid a pig farm. You're not going to get loads of people wandering around a pig farm, are you?
Well, no.
Do you know what I mean? But
pigs are known for eating people anyway, aren't they, and killing them?
Yeah.
So
that's it. They turn into hogs and things, won't they?
Yeah.
The wild pig, they turn into a hog, won't it? It's a dangerous animal actually when they escape in the wild. But generally speaking, that's a good place for, say, a strange being like a dogman to actually A, feed, and B, kind of hide, really.
Yeah.
Or close by.
Yeah. But the other thing as well, when I pulled up to take that photo, I was a bit apprehensive at first. I didn't get out the van. I just put the window down and leant out and took a couple of pictures. Some were a bit blurry, so I've deleted them. There's nothing on them. Checked all the pictures before I deleted them, just in case it picked anything up. But one of the people that I spoke to first said, why didn't you get out and have a look? I'm like, because I don't want it to be the last thing I ever did.
Exactly, yeah.
Because you don't know, like someone said, was there more than one? Was there different types of things there? You don't know what, like we said earlier, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And I was on my own. It's the middle. I know it was either 10 to 12 or 10 past 12. I've wrote the time down somewhere. I said I've documented it all, but I'm sure it was 10 to 12. So it was even just before, just after midday. So it wasn't even like it was getting like dusk or dawn or anything like that. It was like literally middle of the day, sun out, blue skies, maybe a bit of cloud, and that was it. No rain, nothing.
Oh, well, that it can be quite fine. The trouble is, the fact that it's on your mind means it's true. Do you know what I mean? You haven't forgotten it. Of all the things that's gone on in the last couple of years, you remember this thing.
Yeah, I remember everything about it.
And that's the thing. So yeah, I mean, I believe exactly what you said. It's on your mind. I mean, and these things, when these strange things happen, you know, you do remember them. You know, and you think, well, I know what I see was real. What it was, you don't know, but you know it's real.
Yeah, exactly
and
that.
And the chances of it's been there once, it'll be there again.
Yeah,
you know,
so,
it could just be. It could be like a bit like Bigfoots. They're seen and then they vanish. You think, where do they go to?
Yeah,
you know, they are real. They do exist. I mean, people just haven't quite worked out where they go to.
Yeah, but it's like I said, because I was driving, a couple of people said, well, do you not take your eyes off it to look at the road? No, because as I'm coming round, the road was right in front of that where the blue circle was. So I didn't have to take my eyes off that because I was following the road round and it was right in front of me. So I didn't take my eyes off it. It didn't go behind the tree. It didn't duck down. It didn't jump up. It just, 1 second it was there and then nothing. And that is all. That's all I have. I don't have anything more to add to it than that.
But it wasn't aggressive towards you in that sort of split second, was it?
Didn't show its teeth. Didn't have bright red eyes. There was nothing like that. It didn't try and look like it was going to pounce. It was just stood like that, chest out, shoulders up, like a soldier would when they're stood to attention. It was like that.
It could have been protecting something or somebody.
I know, that's the other thing that I'm thinking, but what was it protecting?
It could not say, I mean, I personally have had experience with portals. It could be a portal. It could be a frigging spacecraft. Or it could be anything.
Yeah.
The thing is, these things are real, aren't they? You know what you've seen, you know what you've experienced. And just everybody who listens on the show have experienced something. You know, and so if we made fun of everybody that's seen something, it'd be ridiculous. We've all had so many experiences over our lives. You don't always clock what you see, do you? But the fact you've got the signs in your head tells you that, you know what I mean, that was spot on.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. Have you heard of anything else like that around that area? Like I said, I don't know that area, so I
don't know Kingston very well. Kingston a little bit out of my way, and as much I don't actually go up there much. I've been there, but it's not the sort of place I normally go to.
No. Cheers. Just thought I'd ask, like I said, because it's like your part of the country, so not sure. Right, we have got one more question for you before we end this, and it's from Alison Buttle. Hello, Alison. She's asking, Andy, Derek, hello. Do you experience more this time of year? So you answer that because I just get it as and when, regardless.
Well, I've had some of my biggest experiences this time of the year, to be perfectly honest. I don't know why that is. I know it's sort of close to Halloween, but yes, I have. October, November, I have had some pretty big experiences. But then again, I can't say that I've had. Oh no, I'd say all the year round I've personally had them, but they're different experiences. You know, they're not all outside in the forest and things like that. We've had experiences at home in that, but it's not something I've really thought about, if I'm honest.
No.
I can think of a couple of experiences I've had this time of year. October the 1st, when I had one big experience that I know. And November, perhaps very much the same. But no, I can't say. I personally think that's happened all the year round for me personally.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. Right, we are over the 2-hour mark, so we're going to end this in the next minute. Massive thank you, Derek, for coming on 2 nights on the row. Really do appreciate it. And thank you for listening to my story as well.
Well, thank you for having me on, and thanks for everybody listening in. We took the trouble of listening and messaging. That's really, really nice.
Yeah. So massive thank you for everyone in the chat and asking Derek questions. Just before we go, it is Nigel Wright's birthday, so happy birthday, Nigel. I think I did send it you on Facebook. I can't remember because
you did. I see it.
Today. Oh yeah, I did. I don't feel so bad
well.
now, but did I? But yeah, no, it was good. So yeah, happy birthday, Nigel. Right, so that's it for tonight. And next stream is on Friday, which is a Halloween special. You do not want to miss it because it's different. Even the mods don't know what's going on. I know, and other things are going on, and that's it. That's all I'm saying. So if you it's going to be a bit of a laugh. It's going to be a little bit different, but it's going to be the same concept. And just, tune in to find out. That's 8 o'clock on Friday. It'll probably go over the 2-hour mark due to what's happening. And so that's Friday. Saturday, we're going to Cannock Chase. Going to do some filming while we're there. I'm not going to do a live stream because I want it to go out on actual Halloween on Tuesday. So I'm going to do it as a premiere for that, I think. I'll sort something out anyway, once I've got it all edited and put together. If we do capture anything at Cannock, you guys will be the first to know. If any of you have got any photos when you've been to Cannock, please do send them in. I'm going to be putting them on the website. We're going to be taking photos while we're there, a lot more than we did last time. So they're going to go on the gallery page of the website as well. That's andydecodes.com. Everything's on there for what's coming up over the next few months. And don't forget, in January, the 25th at 8 p.m., which is a Thursday, it's the 26th of January, 8 p.m. Oh, it's going to be 9 p.m. It's actually a 25-hour podcast, live cast. I'm going to be running right the way through. It's going to be four 6-hour streams and one 1-hour one at the end. So can't wait for that and having no sleep. It'll be fun. I'm not going to drink because I'm going to be too delirious to even know who I am by the end of it. But thanks again, Derek, for coming on. It was great to meet you in Manchester.
Well, thanks ever so much for having me on. It's nice we can share stuff. It's nice to find somewhere we can actually share information and hear everybody's various stories and experiences. So it's nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
No, thank you. I'm glad you've enjoyed yourself.
Oh, I love it. I love all this sort of thing. I do.
Yeah, but definitely have to get you back on in the new year and talk more about the paranormal side. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. And hopefully, because I know we did plan it, it just didn't happen yet, that we get to meet up in Rendlesham and do some sort of project together.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Whenever you want. Yeah.
Yeah. No worries. Well, I've got all your details anyway, so it's all good. Right. So on that note, I'm going to end it here. Like I said, thank you everyone for coming in the chat. Thank you everyone for the questions, everyone's support, everyone helping out, the mods, everyone else in between. Guys that listen on podcasts, thank you for listening. That's going up and up with the subscribers every week. That's it. So to find anything out, go to the website or go to the YouTube channel and go on community. I'm putting a lot of stuff on there to do with YouTube rather than using Facebook. Eventually going to move away from Facebook and just use the website and YouTube, but that's going to be a few months yet anyway, so just going to phase it in gradually. So that's it. See you guys on Friday at 8 p.m. Have a great couple of days, and don't forget Halloween special. See you all then. Bye.
Bye.